hungry for some candy? Well, I'll tell you about a trick-or-treat event with a special twist later on in the show.
All names mean something, and Mark Zuckerberg wants to change the meaning of his company.
President Joe Biden pitches new economic plan.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Kayla Holt.
And I'm Hannah Gonzalez. One of the most well-known companies in the world is changing its name. From now on, Facebook will be Meta. CEO Mark Zuckerberg says it's all about the company's new mission.
It is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do. To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together.
Metaverse is a term for a virtual universe which lets people escape into it. This concept is what Zuckerberg calls a virtual reality vision of the future.
North Texas had a major weather shift today, and it looks like we will have issues tomorrow. The wind today was so bad, Denton County Public Health canceled all their COVID vaccination clinics, and officials had to reschedule 6,300 people who were set to get their vaccinations or their boosters both today and tomorrow. If you were one of those rescheduled appointments, don't worry, as the county is sending out emails to link reschedule your shot.
Kayla, I knew the wind was bad, but I didn't know it was going to result into rescheduling vaccines.
Me either. Hannah, let's check in with our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, to see just how bad those winds are going to get. Ryan?
Well, I can reassure y'all the winds will get better possibly this weekend. Let's take a look at what we got here in Denton. So currently we're sitting at under clear skies with temperatures at 72 degrees. It is feeling like 70 degrees with those winds, of course, at a blazingly fast 30 miles per hour. As we move on to tonight, those clear skies will stay and the temperature will drop to 51. It will feel like 40 degrees and those winds, thankfully, will drop down to 20 miles per hour. As we move on to tomorrow, those clear skies still remain. The temperature will climb back up to 69 degrees and will feel like 61 degrees. Our wind will die down even further to 10 miles per hour. That's all I got for y'all for current conditions. Check back at full weather. Back to y'all.
Thanks, Ryan. Kayla, the weather is perfect for Halloween. Do you know how you're going to celebrate this weekend?
You know, I'm not sure what I'll be doing, but our reporter, Kelsey Clark, is out investigating the Boo Bash. Kelsey?
UNT Union having a spooktacular time. Plenty of people took the opportunity to dress up as their favorite character, and I am dressed up as Velma Dinkley, of course. Tonight, the Emerald Ballroom has been transformed into a beautiful trick-or-treat extravaganza until 8 p.m., and this is a free event for all ages. I'll be back in a bit with a sweet treat live from the Boo Bash, but for now, back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Kelsey. Looks like a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, it seems like Americans plan on having a lot of fun this Halloween, as the National Retail Federation estimates Halloween spending will reach a record-breaking levels. Today, we take a look at what Americans are spending their money on.
Halloween is bouncing back. More Americans, about 65%, are planning to celebrate this spooky holiday this year, up from 58% last year.
Consumers are back up to pre-pandemic levels when it comes to the number of people celebrating.
That's according to the National Retail Federation, which estimates that spending on Halloween-related items will break a record at over $10 billion. That's $2 billion more than last year, despite the ongoing supply chain crisis. The NRF estimates that the average person will spend around $100 this year for the holiday. Their survey found that most of that is going to purchase costumes, decorations, and of course, candy.
Candy is another big area where consumers will be spending, not just to treat themselves, but for all those trick-or-treaters who might be heading out this year, who might have had to skip that part of Halloween last year.
The NRF says the record-breaking spending is not surprising, with more families feeling comfortable getting back to trick-or-treating and more young people feeling comfortable going to parties with bigger groups.
That's an age group that has really helped drive a lot of Halloween spending in the past, so it's good to see them kind of coming back into the picture.
The NRF survey found 46% of people are planning on dressing up, with more saying they'll also get their pets into the Halloween spirit.
About 1 in 5 of those celebrating Halloween plan to dress up their pet this year, which is the highest we've ever seen.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, today we celebrate 2 special events that have nothing to do with Halloween. One is our own Statue of Liberty, dedicated on this date back in 1886, and it was a gift from France. It recognized around the world as a symbol of freedom and democracy. While today marks the birthday of Lady Liberty, another birthday celebration closer to home is UNT's Apogee. Zach Fox, what can you tell us about the history behind our beloved stadium?
Thanks, Hannah. You may be wondering why I'm wearing a Mean Joe green jersey. And despite Halloween upcoming, it's not my costume. However, that team in 1966, along with Mean Joe Green himself, now that was scary. Speaking of 1966, this guy, Bill Mercer, former voice of UNT Athletics, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Texas Rangers, he graduated with his master's degree in 1966 and was the school's announcer when Abner Haynes and Leon King became the first African-American athletes to play college football in Texas. Both knew Fouts Field, the former home of UNT football, before transitioning to the masterful Apogee Stadium in 2011. We now celebrate 10 years of having one of the most unique and fascinating stadiums in college football. And with UNT advancing all of their athletic facilities from an indoor football arena to Bruzzies, the brand new golf center, and plenty more to come, it's probably a good reason as to why UNT's move to the American was so simple. Because what a better way to market and advertise your brand than good old Apogee Stadium. So ladies, there's your little history tidbit for the day, but more sports later on in the show.
Thanks, Zach. When we come back, we have an update on Andrew Cuomo, as well as the new plan proposed by President Biden.
And we'll be taking a trip down to the Denton Courthouse. Stick with us.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo was charged with a misdemeanor sex crime complaint that alleges he forcibly touched a woman inappropriately in the executive office in Albany on December 7th. The complaint was filed 2 months after Cuomo resigned due to accusations of sexual assault by nearly a dozen women. According to a press release issued by Albany County Sheriff Craig Apple Sr., the Albany County Court issued a summons for Cuomo to appear in court on the afternoon of November 17th.
Is there progress on the horizon? President Joe Biden has unveiled his new climate and economic package that he hopes will persuade his party to vote for its approval. So what can we expect from this new plan? CNN's Isabel Rosales has a breakdown for us.
President Joe Biden pitching a new and significantly scaled back version of his massive economic plan.
I know we have a historic economic framework.
The $1.75 trillion proposal focuses on child care, climate change, health care, and more.
It's a framework that will create millions of jobs, grow the economy, invest in our nation and our people.
Without any Republican support, the president hopes this version will get holdouts in his party on board to vote. On the moderate side, no clear deal. Senator Kyrsten Sinema said in a statement she looks forward to getting this done. At half the cost of Biden's original Build Back Better plan, it drops top priorities for progressives, including paid family and medical leave and free community college.
No one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is.
Biden's entire legislative agenda is at an inflection point. Some progressives still frustrated with Senate moderates.
Our trust has to be in two senators that have not, in my opinion, been good faith actors up until this point.
There is growing consensus over the new plan, along with support for the companion infrastructure bill.
Our members are enthusiastic about voting for both bills when that text is ready.
Despite the high-stakes gamble, there is confidence Biden's full agenda will ultimately pass both the House and the Senate.
We have the text out there. We're on a path to get this all done.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
A big concern with Biden's new plan is the funding, as it requires $1.75 trillion. That line calls for a 15% minimum tax on companies with more than $1 billion in profits, which could be the holdup to its passing. One thing we don't want passing us by is the opportunity to save our planet. And Time Magazine is making it their job to inform us on what's happening and what we can do about climate change. The latest issue goes on sale tomorrow, so make sure you grab yourself a copy.
After a very violent two-day storm, Massachusetts residents now have to deal with aftermath of the storm. Over 300,000 homes and businesses were without power and are still without power. Gasoline for cars is scarce because there is no power to run the gas pumps. People are scrambling to find fuel. The outages are expected to last throughout the weekend.
Well, Kayla, I'm just glad the rainstorm we received the other day did not result in power outages.
That's right, Hannah. I'm curious to see how the weather will be for Halloween this weekend. Let's check back in with our weather anchor, Ryan Cantrell, for the full forecast.
Well, I think y'all will be happy with what I got for you this Halloween forecast. So what we got here in North Texas is temperatures in the low 70s and high 60s. Fort Worth and Dallas are both at 72, and Fort Worth is way down there in 64. Now, as we look into the state of Texas, we're going to see a little bit more variation with Austin and Houston in the high 70s, actually. And way out there in El Paso will be 68. Now, as we look into our 7-day forecast for this weekend, we are starting to see these beautiful clear skies stay with us until Tuesday. Temperatures remain in the low to high 70s as the highs, and then high to low 50s for lows. Clouds will start to come in on Tuesday, and rain chances increase to 30% on Thursday. That's all I got for weather for y'all this week. Back to y'all.
Hannah, with all the excitement about Halloween, I've really been craving some sweet candy.
Well, Kayla, a good thing our reporter Armando Berry has switched from the Mean Green to a Wildcat for the night and is live at a trick-or-treat event going on near us. Armando.
Thanks, Kayla. Hannah, I'm at the night at the Courthouse Museum here in downtown Denton. This is a free event that's going on from 6 to 8 p.m. If you still have another hour to check it out, there are museum guides who are leading groups through a trick-or-treat throughout the museum that includes some historical figures from Denton's past. I actually have some historical figures beside me now. So tell me, who are you guys?
I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Clyde.
Okay, let's talk to the lady first. Bonnie, how are y'all tied to Denton?
Well, we actually planned to rob some banks in Denton a couple of weeks ago, but we almost got caught by some Texas Rangers, so we had to leave.
Okay, I never knew that. Clyde, what are you looking, we're still a couple days away from Halloween, but what are you looking forward to the most this year?
I think I'm just looking forward to being with my friends and, of course, candy, which we do have at this event.
Absolutely, me too. I have my costume on right now. It's Chad from High School Musical, and I can't wait to get some candy myself. Thanks for taking time to talk to me, but for now, let's send it to Kayla and Hannah in the studio.
Thanks, Armando. This Halloween, you won't need to run into any train station walls to get to Hogwarts, but rather step inside a home in Des Moines, Iowa, to be transported to the Wizarding World.
From floating brooms to slithering smoke and magic wands.
We let the little kids use it sometimes when they go around.
The attention to detail is a Harry Potter fan's dream.
So we chose Harry Potter, and I'd only seen one movie when we started this. So I had a lot of research to do.
Sandy and John Selby have transformed their home on Des Moines' northeast side into a haunted Hogwarts.
I've always wanted to be that one home. Growing up, I can remember there was always one house in the town we lived in that went over and above and beyond, and we wanted to be that house.
For 20 years now, they've been that house. Each year, they choose a different theme and start from scratch until their vision becomes a reality.
We probably have about $2,000 worth of styrofoam alone in here.
It's not cheap, and they build and create it all themselves, from the Hogwarts Express steam train to the classic characters.
Over here is Dumbledore.
This spooky spot draws people every day, many driving from across the metro to be here.
And if you get the young kid whose mom and dad aren't filthy rich and they just want a night out just to have fun, this is the place to come. We don't charge.
They spend thousands of dollars and hours doing this, but for the Selbys, it's worth it.
You can't really describe the feeling because people are going to remember this. 20 years from now, when a lot of these kids that are coming through now have their own children, they're going to remember, I remember that house.
The Selbys don't charge to see their beautiful Halloween display, so if you find yourself in the area, make sure you check it out.
Kayla, that's so adorable. I just wish it was closer to us.
I do too. We'd have so much fun. On the bright side, when we come back, we have more places you can go to eat as well as get a job after the break. Well, if you're looking for a little extra spending cash this holiday season or a good paying full-time job, we have two suggestions, Costco and Starbucks. The giant retailer is raising its hourly wage to $17 an hour. That's the second time this year that Costco has been given employees a pay raise. About 180,000 people work for Costco and 90% of them are hourly workers. Over at Starbucks, you can pour coffee for about the same wage, an average $17 an hour. Starbucks says their pay hikes will range between $15 and $23 an hour, depending on tenure and store location. The hike in pay comes as all the companies are facing labor shortages.
A new attraction brought to the DFW area is a farmers market located in Fort Worth. Let's take a look. Four Seasons Market is a Texas-wide farmers market that gives a platform to vendors to build their businesses.
It benefits it a lot because it gets you new clientele, and it's an easy way to meet people and other vendors and small businesses, so you learn basically, a lot of tricks of the trade.
At these markets, there is a range of products for consumers to buy, like jewelry, produce, woodwork, and more.
Well, there's a lot of different things at the farmers market as far as a large variety of handmade items. So I think it's it's really interesting because you never know what you're going to find.
Every weekend, you can visit their website to find the hours, locations, and vendors that will be at each market. I had a chance to visit the market at the Tinger Outlets, which is the newest market brought by Four Seasons.
This is a newer one. It's only been out here, about 2 months now? So a lot of people don't know it's here yet. So it's, it takes time, just like anything else, for people to know you're here and the dates and the times. But at the other ones that are established, they're out there. And you're supporting small businesses, so I'd rather do that than go to a big box retail store, These people need it more.
Not only do these vendors need customers to return every weekend to keep their business alive, but they also appreciate that their hard work doesn't go unnoticed.
We do woodworking, and we do it all ourselves. Put a lot of time and effort into each piece. So they mean something to us, and we like it when customers also appreciate it.
Visit the market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
It seems as though we just finished the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, but we're actually exactly 100 days from the start of the Winter Olympics being in Beijing. The American team will be decked out in styles by American designer Ralph Lauren. The outfits include a buffalo plaid hooded puffer jacket for each team member. The guys will be wearing a fleece pants, while ladies will be in fleece leggings. The theme for all the gear is sustainability. The jackets are stuffed with recycled down, the gloves and the boots recycled polyester, and the sweaters and hats are made from homegrown wool.
Well, the U.S. team will certainly look great. And somebody else with a great fashion sense is our own Zach Fox.
Zach.
That's right, ladies. It sure has been fun witnessing history from Fouts Field and Mean Joe Green to even now Apogee Stadium. More UNT football news when we return from the Bill Mercer Room at Apogee Stadium. Stick around.
kids' faces and how they interact with all the tabling events. It's really cute.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really cute. Okay, how are you celebrating the Hallow weekend?
My Hall weekend, I'm going to my friend's university. We're going to do like costume contests, scary movies, you know, the whole gist.
Okay, that sounds super fun. Everyone stay safe this weekend, and let's check back in with Chad at the Courthouse Museum.
Thanks, Velma. The kids are getting some candy. We learned about some of Denton County's historical figures, and everyone's just having fun. We'll send it back to Kayla and Hannah in the studio.
Well, I know Armando and Kelsey are having a blast out there, and I have to say I'm a little jealous.
Okay, well, don't be. Okay, because we'll celebrate later.
Okay.
But in the meantime, everyone have a fun and safe Halloween.
We'll see you back here on Monday at 6 p.m. here on North Texas Television.